I used to publish a magazine all about broadcast technology, radio technology, film technology, lighting, that kind of thing. And a friend of mine worked for a company at film studios just outside London. And he called me up one day and he said, you never guess who's moved in next door with a huge film project? I said, no. He said, it's Stanley Kubrick. And the film that Stanley Kubrick was making, and he'd taken over basically most of the studio complex just outside of London, was Eyes Wide Shut, featuring Tom Cruise. Now, Tom Cruise is an interesting choice because Tom Cruise, it's no secret whatsoever, has had a long-term relationship with an organisation that previously been established by L. Ron Hubbard. Now, L. Ron Hubbard was a science fiction author. He'd collaborated on script ideas for the TV series Star Trek, and was a friend of Jack Parsons, who was a rocket designer, who was one of the guiding lights and one of the founding fathers of Jet Propulsion Labs. And together, L. Ron Hubbard and Jack Parsons conducted a series of magical rituals. And in actual fact, Jack Parsons baptized himself as the Antichrist. And partly this was the subject of my film, which I made in 2006, called The Antichrist Conspiracy, which is the second part of my series of films about the global network of secret societies, which we generally call the Illuminati. So Eyes Wide Shut is really an expose of these super wealthy people in stately homes. They are, if you like, the American Illuminati, the American aristocracy. And in the film you see a form of black mass. And the black mass is traditionally a satanic version of the Catholic mass. And in the film you see characters dressed as cardinals and a character dressed rather like a pope from the medieval era. And it's a ritual of sex magic witnessed by these super wealthy individuals who disguise themselves using masks which are reminiscent of the Venetian masked balls of the medieval era. And sex magic is a very specialised form of magic. It's really bringing together an atmosphere of psychic tension within the temple and combining this with sexual tension and the energy that is given out at the point of orgasm by the people that are taking part. This sexual energy is offered up to a spirit. And of course, in the case of Satanism and various versions of black magic rites, this sexual energy at the point of orgasm is given as a gift to breathe life, as it were, into a demon spirit which is invoked. And at the beginning of the ritual in the film Eyes Wide Shut, we see each of the participants kissing each other. And this is a very common thing that you find in rituals. The high priest or the high priestess would often welcome each initiate to the ritual with a kiss. Now, in black magic, such as the black magic that was practiced by the Knights Templar, and we know for sure that the Knights Templar were involved in very, very dark occultic goings-on, because when the Knights Templar were interrogated, many of them confessed, and one of the confessions was that they used to give each other a sacrilegious kiss. And the high priest of the Knights Templar Order used to bear his buttocks to each of the initiates as they entered the temple, and they used to have to kiss the anus of the high priest. And the other things that used to go on at Knights Templar rituals is spitting and trampling on the cross and denying the existence of Jesus Christ, and also a form of necromancy, which is a form of black magic which involves corpses and invoking spirits, summoning spirits, and then implanting these spirits into a dead body or the severed head of a corpse, and trying to watch muscle movements of this head and receive spiritual communication. And these heads were highly prized, and they were kept in silver caskets, and they became known as Baphomets. So Eyes Wide Shut is one of my all-time favourite films. It's one of the very, very few films which actually shows you what goes on in magical ritual. And it's no secret that the aristocracy throughout the ages have been involved in black magic, and I actually cover these subjects of the royal elite and black magic in my film Murdered by the Monarchy, which is part 3 of my series of films about the Illuminati.
Throughout the ages, the ruling elite have known that man is not alone in the universe. There is archaeological evidence which suggests that long ago, planet Earth was visited by extraterrestrials, and these alien beings have been mythologized as gods into our religious systems. Planet Earth is teeming with life, and every living creature is animated by a spiritual life force. Therefore, any alien life form should also have a spirit. This film exposes for the first time that contact with these alien spirits has been a long-term project for secret societies. Many cults, such as Freemasonry, the Ordo Templi Orientis, and Scientology, claim to be guided by spirits of extraterrestrials, sometimes referred to as the secret chiefs or the hidden masters. A legacy of contact with these alien spirits has inspired many ancient texts, which explain how magic can be used to contact spirits of beings in other parts of the universe. Modern science tells us that space is nothing more than just a dead vacuum. This is not true. An invisible web of energy has been proven to flow throughout the universe, and long ago it was called the ether. Planets are alive. Space is populated by millions of planets, and each planet is a super living organism. Planets exist in space with a huge number of organisms which coexist in a symbiotic relationship, creating and recycling the atmosphere and soils of each planet. Planet Earth, like all planets, is therefore a super-living organism, and because our planet is alive, just like one of us, our planet also has a spirit. Every living thing has a spirit, and that includes bacteria, viruses, trees, plants, insects, birds, fungus, and even flowers. These are mostly called nature or elemental spirits. In fact, there is a hierarchy of spirits in the spirit world, which has its own aristocracy of senior angels, and yes, at its lowest levels, evil spirits, a place called hell, which also has a hierarchy of demonic dukes, princes, and kings.
Discovery, we still have the alien spacecraft under appearance.
In 1996, NASA astronaut Story Musgrave filmed a strange creature living in the upper atmosphere of planet Earth. Professor John Mack of Harvard University published statistics which report that millions of people have been abducted by alien beings. If the video evidence collected by NASA astronauts is correct, and alien creatures do actually exist, then it is highly likely that these alien creatures will also have a spirit, just like humans. When our physical bodies have worn out, our spirit leaves the body and returns to the spirit world. The spirit world is what Buddhists call true reality. This is where the spirits of all living things in the universe live. It is divided into different planes, often called the astral planes. This is where our spirits dwell and then recycle themselves on the fabled wheel of life, eventually returning to the physical world in a fresh, new body. Mystics throughout history, especially in the Holy Lands, have tried to describe the mystifying, strange, and complex world of the astral planes. The Kabbalah is a collection of texts which are forbidden to be studied before the age of 40. Kabbalistic texts describe the spirit world as the Yen Welt. The Kabbalah teaches that there are different, invisible, parallel universes which intersect our own reality. Indeed, it is the astral world where the two strange worlds of human spirituality and the spirits of extraterrestrials meet. Buddhists teach reincarnation, and that means that some of us may very well be incarnated not only into just another physical body, but a body which lives on another planet.